tomorrow you might be picking up the phone and calling up doctors in Bangladesh. It has no region, no sector, it has no beats. Everybody shares across the world, the similar kind. Everybody believes in fake news across the world. We all have fallen for fake news. Even if we are fact checkers tomorrow, we will still fall for fake news. When I started out fact checking, or thoda?
Yes. Thank you.
So when I started out fact checking, this is a very good example on how fact checkers themselves fall for fake news. I have, you guys are the first time this information is leaving Boom Live. Only Boom Live people know about this. When I started out fact checking, for 5-6 checking, the ICC Twitter handle, the official ICC Twitter handle, shared a photo of Roger Federer, who's a tennis star, saying with him saying that Roger Federer using his county cricket skills in tennis. Okay, it was a photo of Roger Federer hitting a shot with his tennis bat. Somebody shared it with me, my then friend, just as a joke, saying that, hey, look, did you know Roger Federer used to play cricket, used to play county cricket? And I was like, oh shit, I did not know. I'm such a huge cricket fan. I did not know this. And like a very smart person, I shared the tweet with my editor, with my managing editor. I sent it to him and I said, did you know this? Did you know? And he called me and he said, Nivedita, I hired you 6 months ago. I was like, yes. It's like, are you making me doubt why I hired you? I was like, why do you say this? He's like, did you search? Did you fact check? Did you do what I pay you to do? And I had not. It was just a joke. It was a meme. He does not play county cricket, which is very obvious. But even if you turn fact checkers tomorrow, even if you are the person in your WhatsApp groups, in your family who is like, what is the source for this? You can also fall for fake news. This is a very silly fake news to fall for. You might fall for a serious one, but just admit that you fell for fake news. And if you ever have a conversation somewhere, you can, joke about it later. So yeah. Now, I will start with a visual. I want all of you to look at it. I've been told that you've been taught fact-checking tools. Okay. You've been shown how to look at an image and, look either reverse image search and all of that. This does not involve any kind of reverse image search. It uses very 4 basic fact-checking, I won't call it tools, skills. Okay. This is an image. It's a very viral image. It went viral a few years ago. It's Spot the Leopard. There is a leopard in this photo. Okay. Whoever spots it, please raise their hand and tell me where it is. Here? Let me see. You're saying that side. There, right? Sorry. Shit. Sorry. Okay. I apparently cannot zoom in because of the presentation, so I will open the image separately. Hold on. Keep looking. अच्छा, ठीक है. ये इधर से ये नहीं होता. वो नहीं हो रहा. मैं इसको ये इमेज को सेपरेटली खोल दूं यहाँ से. हाँ, ये कर दीजिए. फिर यहाँ से जूम इन करूँ तो कौन हो जाएगा ना? Sorry, that was a fail. हाँ, हो तो रहा है. हो रहा है. हाँ. Yeah, you said here, right? No, I'm. Okay, I'm answering her. Wait, hold on. Yeah, where is it? Where? Yeah. Right side. Right side. Right side. Here.
In between the tree and branch.
Here. Here. Here.
Yes.
Okay, you guys are saying here.
No, niche.
Okay, this side is saying here, right? You guys are saying upar.
Wait. Exactly. Yes.
Is it clear? Hmm? Everybody can see that leopard, right? Now? Okay. How, if I had not zoomed in, how would you spot it? Hmm? If I did not zoom in first, right? You see this image on Twitter, you get it on your WhatsApp. How would you spot it? You learned for 5 months, you've learned these skills. Think, how would you spot it? Sorry? One, yes. That's using a tool. Yeah, that's a very good tool. Yes. Image magnifier, yes. Zooming in, image magnifier, yes. Just looking at the image, no? Okay. When you look at an image and you are told spot a leopard, the first thing you start with is what is not a leopard in this? That is the first obvious thing. This tree is not a leopard. That board is not a leopard. There are rocks. This green thing is not a leopard. Okay, now that's your elimination. You're eliminating things you don't want to see in an image. It's very helpful because it's a full image. Your brain is getting overwhelmed. When you eliminate stuff, you know, okay, I've reduced what I want to focus on from the whole image to these rocks. Now we know what a leopard looks like. So maybe we will go to the rocks. We will try to find it in the rocks. Here it now it can be anywhere. So now you divide your image into 4 parts. Focus on that. Is there anything that looks like a leopard there? Here. Do it in parts. Don't overwhelm your brain, don't overwhelm your eyes, don't overwhelm yourself with information. Divide it into parts. Then use your image magnifier. Okay? If need be. I found the leopard, and a lot of us in office found the leopard without using the image magnifier. Because you divide it into 4 parts, pick out this is where we focused on in office. This part is where we focused on. Because that had the most cluster of rocks and which could be a leopard, which could have an animal in the hiding. Then we focused on that and we kept looking. Where we spotted the color changes, we were like, that's a leopard. And then we used the image magnifier to confirm our findings. Okay, so you always don't need tools. I was telling somebody during lunch, don't always need tools. Your skills, your basic skills. Fact checking is not just dependent on tools, it's also dependent on basic skills, like a reporter does when you're on ground. You know which person you will speak, which person will be very best for your camera, which person is going to definitely cry on camera, and you're going to get the best visual of your compared to all channels. You know, you all are TV reporters, you know this. A print reporter does not know that. I'm a print reporter, I don't know who's going to cry on camera, but you guys know this. So the visual strength is already your strength. You guys need to remember, as TV reporters, visual strength is your strength. Use those skills. Use what you think will become a best visual on camera to find stuff, to fact check. If it's a photographer who's clicked a leopard and he's putting out saying find the leopard, he will obviously he's going to make your job difficult. He's going to try to hide it behind what looks like a leopard already. So that's the rocks. Use that. Okay. Yeah. There's no, if you have any questions about this, I'm happy to answer. But yeah, this is just one exercise I like to really do with people. Okay. Now, okay, my presentation. Since you guys served me biryani, I was like, let's do it. Sure. So the fake clicker है क्या? Clicker नहीं है ना? नहीं तो आप next दबाते जाएंगे जब मैं बोलूँगी. हाँ. So the fake news biryani. I love cooking. Okay. Love eating. Fake news has ingredients in them. A lot of you guys sent Sudhakar sir questions on virality, whether it's viral. Should we do it only if it is viral? These are common questions. These are questions we ask ourselves every day. What is a fake news? What is a joke? What is an opinion? What is satire? What is just something that has been shared, which is fake, but people are not believing it. People are just cracking jokes about it. People are making fun of the person who's shared it. Okay. So I like to think of what is fake news in these three terms. One is the claim. Very important. The claim is very, very important. The language in the claim makes what fake news it is, whether it's a false claim. Now, a false claim is there, it snowed in Hyderabad. It's a photo of a snowy street. It snowed in Hyderabad. It's a false claim. It's an outright false claim. It snowed in Hyderabad, but in 1935. Okay. Now, suppose maybe it did. Maybe the photo is real. Maybe it's a photo of a polluted river. That's a missing context. Maybe it did. Let's suppose that it snowed in Hyderabad in 1935. Let's believe that it did. And that photo is real, but that's not recent. It's not new. That's a missing context. Okay, that's a missing context. So that means your old photo is being shared as new. The incident, the photo is from Shimla but being shared as Hyderabad. Photo is from Masuri being shared as Hyderabad. Flooded, especially with flood photos. Flooded streets. Photos from a different location being shared. That is a missing context. One is false, one is missing context. Third is satire. It's a very tricky claim. You will find people putting off jokes as satire, as it will go viral, and then a fact checker is asked to write it. And you as a reporter yourself are like, अरे ये तो joke है, इसमें क्या लिखना है, कौन joke को believe करेगा? You don't, I don't. We are special. There are a lot of people who believe it. You have to understand, we are special people. We know what the difference between a joke and what is not a joke. There are people who don't. There are people in your family groups, in your school groups, who don't know what is a joke and what is a fake news. Right? So we have to write it. We have to write it. That is a claim. three types of claims, like I said. Your fourth claim, which happens especially in South India, especially it is very, very common in South India, is the language barrier, which I call it the language barrier, but there will be a video that will go viral in Karnataka, which is true, but it happened in Hyderabad. Okay, the incident is true. What the person is saying in it is true. The statement that is being made is true, but it is not from Karnataka. It is only from Hyderabad. So in this case, do you write it? Do you write such a story or no? Do you fact check it? And how do you fact check? There comes your relevance. Very important. Hyderabad rape case, the examples of relevance the big example is the Hyderabad rape case, the gang rape case. Everybody was following it. There was fake news, a dozen about it. Why were fact checkers working overtime during that? Why? Because everything that was connected to the Hyderabad rape case was relevant. It was in the news. And because it was in the news, there is fake news. And because of that, you have to write it. It does not matter whether one person has shared it. Does not matter whether only half a person has shared it. You have to write it because it is relevant. It is in the news. That is, relevance is very, very important in fact checking. Very important. More than the claim, the relevance is important. Even if you don't find a proper claim, but there is something happening in the news, you have to write it. There was a question that was asked, should we do a fact check only if it is viral? Okay. I think a lot of people asked that question. Only if it is viral. The concept that fact checking comes into play when content goes viral is very wrong. You may have only one person on WhatsApp sharing it. You will write the fact check today. After 1 year, it will go viral. Okay. Should you have written it 1 year ago? you will that is when you will think about how serious the fake claim is. How is it something that will be in the news? Is it something that has the potential to go? You cannot predict the future, true, you cannot. But you are reporters, you have to think that way. You are supposed to be able to predict. If it is a fake claim that you think, if it involves your relevant topics like Hindu Muslims, communal tensions, your women's safety, your the Karina story about hate speech, these are relevant topics, very relevant topics. Yeah, sorry. Fake news around it is evergreen. Is evergreen. When if there is a retirement party thrown for any of us, there will still be fake news being shown about, being spread about any of these topics. So you write it. Okay, you have to write it. Next, you know. So what? Okay, let me ask you this. What is the difference between writing a fact check and writing a story? What is the difference between writing a fact check? When you journalist story. We are in the journalist department. Journalist story, reporter story.
Both actually need fact checking in terms of we need sources, we need verifications. In the writing the journalistic story also we do what the sources and we verify whether it's true.
You're talking about the reporting part of both. I'm talking the difference in writing. How will you present? How do you present a story? Hmm. Yes. Yes. Very important. That is very, very important. What else? What else? When
Depends upon the issue, we should cover the story.
Hmm.
The fact checking thing, we should explain how the important of the story.
Can you explain the last point better?
It's a fact checking. We should get proper information. We should explain proper info related the story through our thoughts.
Okay. Okay. And in reporting?
Reporting depends upon the situation.
Hmm.
Find one storyline. In that storyline basis, we will write story.
Okay. Okay. Yes. One of the points you're saying, reporting needs a subject,
Yeah.
and in fact checking, like you and you both said, you have to explain the process. Okay. What else? Okay. Yes. 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 One of them. Yeah. In reporting, yes. Hmm? Hmm. What about sources? You're right. You're reaching the right point. What about sources? Which sources? So, as a reporter, will you not use the same sources like you do in fact checking? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Sometimes you can't, yes. The sources, she's right. She touched upon the point. The sources you use for fact checking are sometimes different from the sources you use for reporting. In reporting, your source, one source can be the local resident there. There's a flood, there's been an accident. It can be one. In fact checking, in addition to that local reporter, in addition to that local person, in addition to that local resident or the police, you will look for other sources. You will look for an additional source who can confirm the same thing or add additional information. As a reporter, you will stop there. No, there is no problem there. It's your reporter's job. That person is saying he's seen XYZ, you will stop there. In fact checking, you will look for another person. Either you will look for a person, or you will look for a local report, a news report, or somebody who has an image, or maybe that there's a shop there. You will look for that one more additional source, because that's what makes your fact check a fact check. And that is the difference between a reporting and a fact checking. When you write it down, when you sit down and put down your fact check, that is the difference there. One more investigation, yes. An extra step. Instead of just going on the ground and finding one person, finding one local and one police officer as a fact checker, you will look for that extra step.
Journalism reporting side also, we have different categories like political, general, and investigation. Investigation in the sense we should take more steps and we should talk more people. We should gather different information like that. We should.
Yes, true. In fact checking, that is your part of your everyday. It's an everyday part. You don't have to do investigative reporting. Like Sudhakar sir heads the investigative reporting. His reporters have to do it. The regular health reporter may not have to do that. But in fact checking, it's an everyday process. Every day you have to do it. One of the things that, like Syed said, in IFCN, the IFCN policy says, like you said, you cannot reveal sources. IFCN says we have to list down the number of stories which have used anonymous sources. Because in fact checking, it is not a great thing. It is not a good thing to have sources who are not revealing their name. So you need to try and keep trying and finding people who will give you their name. As a reporter, I have the many years I spent as reporting, I have stopped. If you're giving me an anonymous source, anonymous code, I'm fine with it. As a fact checker, I will look for his junior, I will look for the person senior, I will look for his father-in-law, everybody, and I will try to find people who will write, give me their name.
There also have to be strong sources in terms of official sources, more authorized sources.
No, very good point. But no, in fact checking, a lot of my best stories and a lot of our Boom's best stories have come from local people. It is the locals, it is the shopkeeper, it is the person who owns that house, it is the imam of the mosque, it is a person who's been passing by that road who have given us the actual facts, who have given us the actual information, who have shared videos with us. The police haven't. Okay. It is that we have used that and then gone a step ahead. The police are not the police and the official sources are not our first go-to people in fact checking. Okay, that's a very good point that you raised, but that's a different. Okay, visuals. When you're putting down your fact check, now you've done all the work. Okay, you've done a reverse image search, you've done an invade, you have found everything, and now you're putting it down as a fact check. You have to present your readers. Why have you done a fact check? So that your readers can read the fact check and know the facts. Visuals are very important. Don't expect, like you said, like I said, you are all TV journalists. You depend on. I'm right, right? You are all TV journalists, right? Some of you are print. Okay, we are minority. Will ignore us. Okay, like the country does, so we will ignore the minority nicely. So, as TV journalists, you know how important visuals are. Even in a fact checking story, the best and the most easiest fact checks to read are which believe the readers are stupid. And we will present everything in the most. We will write that here in image A, in this image, you can see the difference. This man is wearing red and this man is wearing white. And that is why these two images are different. Right? And then we'll put a screenshot also. And then we'll highlight the red. And then we'll highlight the white. Because readers are looking at the images, readers are looking at the visuals. So put the visuals. Don't assume that, hey, because I know this is red and this is white, the reader will also know. No, spell it out for him. Put two arrows and say, here this is red, this is white. Do it. It makes your fact check the easy to read. When it makes it easy to read, it makes the person, your reader, who is your end audience, who you want them to know the facts, they will remember your story. They will remember your work. They will remember your story. Visuals are very important. Every new person who joins Booms, we keep telling, we are like, add the screenshot. Add the difference. Show the difference. Don't just write about the difference. Show it. You put in the work, right? You found the difference. Right? Put it down. Put it down in your story. Write it. The process. Here. The process, explaining the process is very, very, very important in fact checking. And that is also one of the biggest differences between fact checking and reporting. When you go out as a reporter, you do not write in your story that I traveled 6 kilometers, that I traveled for 6 hours. I stood in the rain for 3 hours. The police officer did not talk to me. I did not eat lunch. I did not eat dinner. I made 20 phone calls and then I got the information. You do not write all this in your, you do not talk about any of this in your fact checking story, right? In your reporting story. In your fact checking, you will write that I first ran a search on Google, we did not find anything. Then I ran a search on Yandex. There also we did not find anything. So then we decided to use Google Lens and we translated the billboard image and then we found something. You need to write it. And you need to write it not for you, not for me. You need to write it that tomorrow somebody raises a question. See, you are fact checkers are in a risky business, not just to be getting arrested. Everybody loves to show fact checkers how they are wrong. Everybody loves to do that. Don't give them the opportunity. They should be, if they follow the steps you have mentioned in your story, they should get the same results. At each step, they should get the same result. Very important to remember. Don't give them any loopholes. No, don't leave any loopholes in your story. Don't do that. If you think that, okay, my story is getting long, this is too much information, try and mention it in a visual. Maybe show it in a visual, don't write it down. Or maybe just mention in one line, but mention it. Say that we ran a search, we did not find results, so we used a more relevant keyword search. We kept changing the keyword searches, and then we found it. Every step in your fact check, somebody else should be able to reproduce and find the exact same results. Always remember. If they don't, they will try to prove that you're wrong. They will. Never think that, oh, this story is very small. Only people in Hyderabad are reading and they are all my family members. Only they are reading. No. People are reading your stories. You are writing a fact check in any language, people are reading them. Only, yeah, a lot of them are reading them because they want to know the facts, but the majority are reading them just to show you that, hey, you are wrong maybe. What I believe is the fact, what you found is not the fact. So don't give them that joy. We are not in the business of giving joy to people. Fact checking is not, fact checking does not bring happiness to anybody. Okay, it does not. It makes people frustrated, it makes people annoyed, it makes people angry. The more angrier they are, the more annoyed they are, the better you are at your job. If your family members have in your family group have started hating you, that means you're amazing, you're excellent at your job. Okay, they've started hating you for constantly questioning them and sending fact checked articles. You are doing brilliant, you deserve a promotion. Please go tell your bosses. Okay, have to remember that. These 4 things, very, very important. Very important. Yes. Ratings, as in? Like TV ratings? No, sadly. We don't even have awards. Nobody gives us awards also. Please. Yeah, they don't, because we call out a lot of media publications. So I'm also never getting a job anywhere else. Yeah. No newspaper is going to hire me again because my bylines are full of saying that, hey, you shared fake news. You shared fake news here. So I'm never getting a job again. I'm no ratings also. So yeah. Can you go next, please? Here. So this is me. I'm not as pretty and hot, but this is me because I'm a super journalist. Okay. What makes me a super journalist? What makes me stand out? Why have I been sent to Hyderabad and somebody else from, apart from the fact that I stay in Bangalore, I'm closest. Apart from that, why? Because I possess one of the few skills that a lot of you in this room do, and you don't recognize it. Okay? A lot of you in this room do. Rina does. A lot of you do. What I've been, the few people I spoke to in lunch, a lot of you do. You are a reporter, all of you. Now you learn to be a fact checker. You are this. You have 2 skills. Now you have 2 skills. You don't have just one. You're not just a fact checker. The new people in my team are just fact checkers. They are not reporters. There are some people in my team who are just reporters, are yet to become a fact checker. You are already the reporter. We are from the generation who did not have fact-checking organizations. So we worked for very less money and stood in the rain for many hours to get that one weather copy. So we are already reporters. The new people don't know how it is to get not have lunch, not get scolded by editors for not having a story, doing weather copy just when you're leaving for your house at 10 p.m., working on your birthdays. These new people don't know that. We already know because we've already spent many years doing on ground pure reporting, finding sources, building sources, meeting people, talking to them and getting that story, knowing which government official talks and which does not talk. We as reporters have already put in that work. We need to now learn fact checking. You guys are learning that. So you become this. So then that means you can fact check while you're ground reporting. This is a question that I get asked everywhere. If you're ground reporting, you're like you said, you're reporting. You're going, there is an event that you're reporting. How do you do fact checking plus reporting? How do you do that? You should do more investigation things. Okay. Yes. Good point.
And no need, I have to.
Okay. That's why I gave it.
We should talk on public related offices, police and department people. Sometimes we should ask nearby shopkeepers. Some we should investigate it to drivers, blah blah. For example, little things. Sometimes we'll get more information.
Okay. Yeah. Good point. So I can see a lot of you guys are dozing off. Okay. I was a student who used to doze off. So now I've become somebody who notices these things. I have seen like 3 yawns already. I've counted it. I have already counted it. So now I'm going to be that annoying teacher who goes to students and say who is sleeping and be like, can you answer my question? Okay. All my teachers are now very happy with me. So yes. How do you be a fact checker and a ground reporter? How do you use your रिपोर्टिंग स्किल्स, इतने सालों से का जो रिपोर्टिंग वाला स्किल है उसको फैक्ट चेकिंग के लिए ऑन ग्राउंड कैसे यूज आप बूम बूम लेके फ्लडेड बेगमपेट में खड़े कहाँ से टूल यूज करेंगे? हाँ ठीक है. अब एक मैं एग्जांपल देती हूँ. लेट्स डू दिस. एक फोटो वायरल गया है व्हिच सेज ओस्मानिया यूनिवर्सिटी के सामने गाड़ी बह के जा रही है. बहुत बारिश हो गया. शाम को 4 बजे सैटरडे के तो मैं यहाँ पे क्लास ले रही थी. गाड़ी एक सैंट्रो रेड कलर की सैंट्रो ओस्मानिया यूनिवर्सिटी के सामने. इट इज getting nicely washed away in the rain. It is driving on its own and getting nicely traveling across the city in the floods. It is all flooded. We are all chilling here. It is all flooded outside. Now your editor tells you, hey, you just learned how to be a fact checker. Go find out if this is true. You come to Osmania University. You have that video with you. You have the viral video with you. You have recognized that, hey, this is Osmania University. Your first step is done. You are very smart. Your first step is done. Now what? Osmania University is giant from what I can see. It's very huge.
Again, we should take some pictures and videos.
You've been answering too many questions. You are not my favorite student. Yes. Everybody is gone home. Who's going to stay in the university when it's flooded? Everybody is gone home. Why should CCTV will be set up? Which reporter gets access to CCTV? What kind of sources do you have? I want them.
Security check for whether there are any places of flooding.
Yes. You will come to Osmania University first. Okay. Sayed gave you an exercise. He said read the full thing. Right? I said Osmania University is flooded. You guys are sitting here. You guys are sitting here. Your editor said you just learned how to be a fact checker. Here is the video of Osmania University.
It's my car. I have it.
It's not yours. But that is what you will do. But she's right. That is what you will do. And you will be like, hey, I will go see if it is flooded. No, first. You are in the university. You will go see if the street is flooded. Okay. First scenario. First step. It is flooded. Chalo. Flooded. एक story तो हो गया आज का. Flooded है Osmania University. Flooded. Where is the red sandro? You still not established that the red sandro wasn't flowing like nicely swimming in the Osmania waters. Now you've established one thing, Osmania University is flooded. Now you have to establish the second thing. Where is the red sandro? Or was there a red sandro? Which is not her sandro. Okay. Where is the red sandro? What is the second thing you will do? You have a video. You have a viral video. I'm repeating. Yeah, wait. Hmm. Finally. What will you do with the number? No, let's. I'm okay. Let's. Yeah. I'm not like yeah. These are good answers. No, definitely good answers. We do this. Not eliminating it. We do this. There is you can check it on Vahan if you guys didn't know. Vahan is the government site where you can go and check who the owner of the car, owner of a vehicle is. You can do that. You're right. Will that be your second step to do? Is what I'm asking you. Will that be your second step? After you've established the first that Osmania University is flooded, will that be your second step? When you're standing outside. Yes. This and what she said. You will go and find the location and you will try to match it with what is in the video. Right? That is your third step. Now you found the location that Santro has now reached Begumpet. Apparently. Okay. It is no longer in Osmania because you can't see it and you are in the location. How are you still going to establish that Santro was nicely flying away there? Nicely like swimming. Her first thing, her answer. See if the number plate is visible and call up the owner. Okay. Find out. Now you cannot call up the owner because the Vahan does not give you phone number. You will only get his name and then you will have to sit and stalk everybody with the same name on Facebook. Nicely go and look. And then your editor will be like, Bhaiya, what are you doing? Then what? What will you do then? So obviously that step works. But who has so much time? No editor has so much time. Yes. You'll check with the residents. Okay. You'll check. Who said security guard? Somebody said security guard. Okay. I'll give you fine. 1 chocolate for her. Okay. 1 chocolate for her. हाँ चलो 2 chocolates. Half कर लो मेरे पास. Half. Okay, half. 1 plate half biryani, do half. Okay. Yes, you will ask the local. You will ask your security guard. Okay. Have they seen it? Have they not seen it? One will say, I've seen it. Another will say, no. What you're saying? Nothing like this happened. You drank too much. Then, right. Yeah. Now you have, yes. Then you will sit down and do the other steps everybody said. Speak to the college. Check if they will give you access to CCTV. By then she would have found the owner hopefully and his number and she would have messaged him and asked him. And then he would not have known mera Santro bag gaya, but she will tell him ki tera Santro bag gaya. Okay. But that is the last step. Okay. When all of this is done, now agar Santro beh raha tha, from here it has to go somewhere, no? It has to go somewhere or it has to go and crash. It's a flooded road. It is either still flowing through Hyderabad streets or it has gone and crashed somewhere. You have a video which shows the road it is flowing, it shows the direction it is going in. You are standing on that road. Go down that road. Walk. One thing we all have learned as reporters is walking in flooded streets. All of us. I'm from Bombay. It gets flooded every year there. Every year it gets flooded. We jump from trains and like there is water. Nice water. Yeah, everybody in India, everybody. Unless you're in some very, very cool state, everybody. Walk. Follow the direction that Santro is flowing in. See till see where the video is ended and go till there. Ask the person there. You have one person here saying, hey, मैंने देखा Santro. उधर भी जाके पूछो ना उसको कि उसने Santro देखा क्या बेहतर. Do your reporting. Don't forget you are a reporter. Never forget you're a reporter, because that's what makes you very special. Makes you very special. You have additional skills. You're not just dependent on tools. You're not just sitting at home and trying to identify the Santro, identify the trees. No, you are somebody on ground. You have the capacity to be on ground. Don't worry about मेरे को मैं कैसे मतलब मैं tools use करे. नहीं, जाओ ना, जाओ. You can fact check without using tools. Please remember that. You don't always need tools. Just plain, simple, basic ground reporting, which we've been doing for years. But that is being used for fact checking and not just reporting. If that video hadn't gone viral and you had spotted the Santro going, then that would be your exclusive breaking. But now you're fact checking. Okay, please always remember that. Asking the right questions. There are different. I make that mistake sometimes. That is why I included it. I make the mistake of asking the question as a reporter and not asking the question as a fact checker. As a reporter, we are used to asking these questions. I know I'm calling you guys and myself really super journalists, but then I'm also telling you here are the mistakes we make. As reporters, we have certain biases. We work a certain way. We ask, sir, आग कहाँ लगा, कोई मरा क्या? I've been a crime reporter. Casualty. My first question to police officers would be, casualty है क्या? Casualty नहीं, अच्छा ठीक है sir, नहीं चाहिए. Okay. First question. Who died? Nobody died. Okay. Which building collapsed? How big was the building? How many people were there? Nobody was there. Khali building. Okay, fine. No use. No editor is going to take it. I can't file this story. As a fact checker, I sometimes make the same mistake of asking the same question I did as a crime reporter or as a health reporter. Don't make that mistake. Ask the right questions. Get the full detail. Tell the official to narrate the full story. He will hate you. He will hate you. He may never answer your call. But ask him to, sir, shuru kaise hua? How did it start? When did it start? He says Tuesday. Okay. What time on Tuesday? Because you need to realize that if around that event there is fake news viral, maybe somebody has a visual which says this happened in the morning. So you ask the time. What time? Tuesday evening, Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday night. What happened? Establish the date, time, place. Establish it very clearly. Then ask him what happened. How many people were involved? Not arrested. Not arrested. That is your later question. That is a reporter question. Jumping directly to arrest is a reporter question. How many people were involved at the incident? He will say there was a huge crowd of 100 people. Okay, fine. He doesn't need to know exact numbers. Please don't trouble the policeman like that. He will really hate you. 100 people were involved. Okay. Then how did it start? How did it start is a very important question. Not in fact checking, it's very, very important because your fake claims can have a wide range. People can say it started because somebody insulted a mosque. Tomorrow somebody will say no, it started because somebody insulted his wife. You need to know how it started in case there is a fake claim. There's already a fake claim, you'll obviously ask that question, but in case, ask how did it start? Okay, it started like this. Then what happened? You went there. Pura kahani. Full kahani. Like you are going to make one serial out of it. Full kahani with the villain's character, background music also, everything. Ask him these questions. Detail. Then ask him how many arrested. He says 4, get all their names. In today's day and time, given the communal fake claims we are having, it is very important to have the names of all the accused. There are 28 accused, get all 28 names. If one police officer gives you 2, call up another police officer, get another 2. So make like I'm very bad at math. Make like 14 calls and get 28 names. Did I make the math? Did I say the math correctly? Okay. Yeah. So do that. But get all names. Fake, you don't know how a person who's peddling a fake news, it's almost like a time pass for him or her. आज मेरे को कुछ नहीं है करने को, चलो फेक न्यूज बनाते. कितना, देयर वर 28 अक्यूज, चल 8 को पारसी बनाते, बाकी सबको मुस्लिम बना देंगे, चलो हो गया. Get their names, very important. Get the sections they've been charged with. Ask them, sir, कौन सा which section in the FIR, which you, if ask him if he can. Never be scared to ask any police for a copy of the FIR. वो फोन रख देगा, but पूछो. There are people who share FIR copies. Keep the FIR copy with you. These are questions, these are things I never even did as a crime reporter, unless it was my own exclusive. I never did. As a fact checker, I always ask them these questions. I always ask them for the FIR copy. Always do. Okay, here comes a tool, free wala. All, it is compulsory under the Indian law now to share for all police stations to upload the FIR copies online. Okay, not all police stations do that. Obviously, not all of them do it. Okay. Yes, I get what you're saying. Yes. Everybody is a target in fact checking because everybody is sharing fake news. Who's going to benefit from fact checking? Sorry. Who's going to benefit from fact checking or reading the fact checking? Everybody who does not want to share, who wants to believe in facts, everybody who wants to know what is the truth and what is the lie. Everybody. See, do fact checkers need a scope? No. As in, I don't get the question, sorry. Corina, wait. Huh. Hindi, English both.
When you do fact checking,
అలాంటి
do you
ఇంకా మళ్ళీ
you
అవసరం అయిపోతాం.
you should take care of the number of people affected by that, or even if it affects single person, we should do.
అలాంటి విషయాలు
Okay.
ఒక్కరు షేర్
The
చేస్తే
audience, number of audience.
Yeah, yeah.
అంటే అమ్మాయి అదే చెప్పింది, రెలెవెన్స్ ఒకటి చెప్పింది, వైరాలిటీ ఒకటి చెప్పింది. రెలెవెన్స్ ఉంది, ఆ టాపిక్ హాట్ టాపిక్ ఫ్లడ్స్ హైదరాబాద్ లో వచ్చాయి అంటే అది రెలెవెంట్ టాపిక్. ఒకళ్ళు చదివినా మనం రాయాలి.
Yes, madam.
So your question is right, and there's one thing wrong in that question when you say that does it affect one person or does it affect a lot of people, right? So if there is fake news about how did I forget? Who's that Telugu actor? I really like him. No, he's in that movie CI Comrade. Huh? Vijay. I really like him. I forgot his name. I'm standing in front of like 25 people. I also get nervous in life. Yeah. I watched that movie a lot of times. So if there is a fake news about him, Vijay Deverakonda and Rashmika Mandan, I know her name. See, I'm a Bollywood person. I don't know Bangalore Kannada stars also. I will get beaten up in my state. But anyway, if there is a fake news about Vijay Deverakonda, no. Okay. You are the only fan of Vijay Deverakonda. Okay. Will you write the fact check because you are the only fan? Why? They don't care. Will you write it still? Will you write it? Suppose there is you are not a fact checker, he is a fact checker. But he does not like Vijay Deverakonda. He doesn't even know who he is, like me. Will you ask him to write that fact check? Why? The point is, fake news. Even if the fake news is about one person, or suppose it is about one person. Okay, suppose it is about one person, and or suppose it is about one event, which only one resident is like affected by. Even if it is about that, you can write it. It does not you cannot measure fact checks like you do TV news and print news. You cannot measure fact checks like that. Fact checks, like I said, fact checks don't get read so much. Fact checks don't have that rating system, but you still do it because your job is to present the facts. Your job is to say that this is false, this is true, this is what I have found. So you write it. You don't think about जिसके बारे में फेक न्यूज है उसको फायदा होएगा कि नहीं होएगा, या उसका जो जितने लोग शेयर कर रहे हैं उनको फर्क पड़ेगा कि नहीं फर्क पड़ेगा. You don't think that. You do your job. That's it. That is what we do. I don't mean it as that's what we do every day. We get up. We know that the communal condition in the country is very bad. We know that people are still going to share the fake news, but we still write the fact check. Every day we get up and we still write those fact checks. We will still keep telling people that, hey, the accused in that case were not Muslims. The accused in that case were not Hindus. Okay? People will still not believe it. My atte will still share the fake news to me only, but I will still write it. That is also a difference between reporting and fact checking. Honestly, it is. If I don't know all areas in. No. Yeah. This is my favorite part of fact checking. Finding the person. I love doing it. I love doing that. I feel like one nice detective in life. I love doing that. As a reporter, I would never do that. It did not matter to my salary, did not matter to my story, nothing. As a fact checker, it's amazing to do that. I will show you an example. मैंने ना सॉरी वो डाला ही नहीं उसमें. इसको ना नीचे करते रहो ना थोड़ा, मैं बताती हूँ तभी. ओके, मैं बोलती हूँ तभी. सो थोड़ा नीचे करो, ये इमेज दिखाना. ये इतना एक सेकेंड. अच्छा ये कनेक्टेड है इसके लिए स्लो है क्या? हाँ वो उससे टच नहीं चल रहा है. You guys remember this image? Farmers protest. The image went viral. You remember the fake claims around it? What were the claims? Anybody? There was only one claim, but yeah. Anybody? The claim was that this man did not get beaten up. The claim was that this lathi and this police officer's lathi did not touch him. That he had no injuries. That was the claim. It was viral. It had become a fight between the BJP and everybody else. because they were like, this is in the air, his stick is in the air. It never touched this man. It never touched the farmer. The outrage started because of the farmer's age, because the farmer is old. So everybody was very angry that the police, that they were beating up old farmers, old senior citizen farmers. That is why this photo went viral. Every fact checker in the country was trying. We were all collectively trying to establish whether this man got beaten up or not. One thing you need to remember is that very rarely, when an event like this happens, is the person, the fact checker who's working on it, very rarely is in the same city. Okay. The fact checker may be sitting in Kerala and this is from Delhi. No office is going to fly you to Delhi. No fact checker has so much money. It'll be like, tum Kerala mein baitho and try to find this out. Okay. Very news like. This went viral. There were two ways to do this now. No, we'll get there. We'll get there. Now, there are two ways to fact check this claim, whether he got beaten up or not. One is all the tools you guys have used, the visual tools. Look for other angle videos. Run searches on Twitter and Facebook and try to find if there is a full video of the whole incident. Then check that video, right? The second is the reporting part of it. Second is the reporting part, which is find this person or find the police wala. Find the people, which is what we discuss now. How the reporting part of fact checking. This story uses both. This story uses your fact checking skills, the tools you've learned, everything, and your reporting that we spoke about. So our job, we were told we have to fact check this. We're all trying to, me and the other reporter whose byline is there, we decided that we will divide our jobs. He will look for the tools part. He will try to find the other angle videos. He will try to speak to the photographer who clicked this. Check if there are if there were other people there, other reporters there, because it was a big event. It was a farmers' protest, was being covered by everybody. So check if there are other local reporters and all of that. I sat down to find this man. We divided it. We realized that, like I said in the previous slide, no loopholes. No loopholes in a story. We decided that the only way to fact check this was doing both. Both sides. Speaking to the man and visually establishing that he got beaten up. So that tomorrow, even if we just spoke to the man, tomorrow somebody will come and say, no, he's lying. Or if we just established the visual part of it, somebody will say, no, this media is not true. He did not in reality get beaten up. So do both. And that is what we did in this story. Where, yeah, the usual suspects had shared it. So we sat down to find him. How did I find him? Let's talk about that, because it's an interesting story and I really like telling that story. And I am speaking, so sorry. Yeah. 3 days, 72 hours. Like in Shah Rukh Khan style, it's like chuck this. 72 hours I spent trying to find this man. I found him after working continuously for 72 hours. And as soon as I found him, I went to sleep on the sofa because I was really tired. I did not even tell my editors that I found him. I went to sleep just like that. And at 7 o'clock, I suddenly woke up and I told my editors, oh, we can do this story. I found the man. Okay. I had found him at 2 in the night. I found him at 2 in the night. Found him as in I did not like find him. Like I established who he is and I found his number. I did not wake him up at 2. I spoke to a lot of local reporters who were covering the farmers' protest. Nobody seemed to know who he is. Okay? People went to the extent of saying every Punjabi looks the same. Like every South Indian looks the same, every Punjabi looks the same. I was like, okay, brilliant, very nice. These were reporters. These were reporters. Local reporters did not know him. I spoke to activists in the farmers' protest who were there. They did not seem to know him. These were my two easy outlets. The police sources also did not know him. If they knew him, they were not ready to tell me who he is. So I started scanning. So there are so Telangana, Andhra, uh, Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan, and UP. Few states which are very actively have a lot of local news channels. Extremely local. They will cover everything. They will cover one manhole opened in some random corner of the city to something big happening. Everything. They are on the spot like this. They're full magic people. They are your best sources. They are also your best sources. So I sat down to scan Punjab based local news Facebook pages. Not YouTube, Facebook pages. The best part about these guys is they list their phone numbers. Unlike us, who don't list our phone numbers on Facebook and don't also, they list their phone numbers because it's their work, it's their business. That's how they function. That's how they get their tips. So pick up the phone and I started calling everybody, saying, "Bhai, ये photo viral है. आपको पता है क्या ये कौन है? आपको पता है क्या ये कौन है?" One thing. Second, if this hasn't been told to you yet in all your classes, it is very important. Replies. Replies to Facebook and tweets. Replies. Scan the replies. There will be thousands of replies. There will be replies to a reply. Scan all of them. Facebook has a beautiful feature where it does translate all. If you don't know the language, hit translate all. Scan the replies. You will get so much of your fact check will be done there. Okay. So my first tip came from a local page guy. Said, "ये आदमी शायद इस गांव से है. I will send somebody there and I will try to find some more details." I said, okay. I was going through the replies. I found one person saying, "This is my sister-in-law's," some lamba relation. He said, "My sister-in-law's sister-in-law's sister's father-in-law." Yes, sister-in-law's sister's father-in-law. Now you figure out the relationship. I don't know. All that mattered to me was that there was somebody on that Facebook post saying, "Hey, I knew this man personally." That is what he was saying. So I messaged him. He did not reply for a long time. Simultaneously, I had Facebook pages trying to find me his number. First reply after 2 days came from that man who said, "I know the man. His name is Sukhdev. I will get you his number. I will ask my sister. I'm not in the country. I will get you his number." But I couldn't wait for him. I don't know him from yesterday. He may be lying to me. I can't believe him like that. There was other people put to work. One of the local pages got back saying, "I will get his number at 6 p.m. today. I have sent somebody to his village." People are ready. Yeah. People are ready to help you. You need to be nice. You need to be sweet. They are ready to help you. If they are not, find somebody else who's ready to help you. But people help you. If you ask them, if you tell them, "I am sitting in Hyderabad. I cannot obviously come to Punjab. Can you please find me this person? Can you please find me this person's number or name or anything?" Ask. Don't be scared to ask. Don't be like, "Hey, I can do everything on my own." You can't. I can't, you can't, nobody can't. If you could do everything on your own, you would be the only person in your news organization, because why else? Why would they hire everybody else? They will send you for reporting, they will make you edit videos, they will make you do the PCR, everything you can do, no then. You can't, no. Ask people. The one man said, they found me his number, but said when he got beaten up, his phone broke. So even though I had his number, I couldn't speak to him. So I was like, "I need to speak to him. Aap mere ko kuch aur laake do." So then that man came. The guy who said my father-in-law sister, whatever relation he had, he said, same, his family is also not able to reach him because his phone broke. But from the same village, there is another man with him. I'm giving you his number. They gave me his number. I called him up. He said, "वो नहाने गए हैं." I was like, okay, I waited 3 days. I will wait 1 more hour. Okay. वो आएंगे नहा के मैं आपसे बात करवाता हूँ उनकी. He spoke to me. I got his quote. But now, visual. This is where visuals come in. He spoke to me. I'm a very good reporter. My bosses trust. Now tomorrow, all of you will trust my stories. But that is not how the fake news peddlers work. No, they don't trust me. They really don't like me. So I need to show that I actually spoke to him. What if I spoke to my shopkeeper? What if I spoke to my watchman and said, this is the guy? No, I need visual proof. So I asked the man, आप मेरे को वीडियो रिकॉर्ड करने. I'm not, you need to remember, I'm not in Delhi. I'm sitting in Bangalore. Shivering in the cold and trying to find this man. I'm not in Delhi. So then I had to request another, and I cannot send any reporter to Delhi. We did not have reporters in Delhi for them to go with a phone and shoot and say, here, आप बताइए कहाँ लगा आपको. We did not. So I asked the same person कि आप ये जो बंदे आपके गांव के हैं उनको खड़ा कीजिए और आप अपने फोन पे वीडियो लेके मुझे व्हाट्सएप कीजिए. That's it. So we were the first ones to find this man. Okay, we were the first ones to have him on video showing his injuries, saying यहाँ लगा, पीठ पे लगा, सर पे लगा. He showed us the injuries. He did not just say कि oh मेरे को लगा है. This is where I used your TV reporter skills, where I was like कहाँ लगा है बताइए please. आप मेरे को वीडियो में बताइए उनको. I told him आप बताइए वीडियो में, because you honestly you need to realize people really don't like fact checkers. You keep eliminating, so every time you think that they will come and say, you need to think about the questions they will throw at you. कि अरे दिखाया नहीं कहाँ लगा है तुमने, मैं कैसे बिलीव कर, तुम बोल रहे हो लगा है, वो बेचारा अपना मेडिकल सर्टिफिकेट, तो तूने दिखाया नहीं किधर लगा. लगा तो इंजुरी रहना चाहिए ना, तूने दिखाया नहीं. शो इट. बी बेशरम एंड लाइक सर वीडियो पे दिखाओ ना कहाँ लगा है. एंड दैट इज हाउ. नीचे स्क्रॉल करो, प्ले कीजिए इसको. होगा क्या? नहीं होगा तो सी बैड वीडियो उसका मतलब. हाँ नहीं होगा ना, ऑडियो नहीं आएगा. ठीक है. हाँ देयर सबटाइटल्स. नहीं कोई नहीं सबटाइटल्स है. ठीक है. वो देख. Yeah, there were subtitles, but the audio was not. The audio was bad, but बंद कर दीजिए. मतलब ये नहीं, नीचे चले जाइए, स्क्रॉल कीजिए नीचे, वरना ये वो वीडियो प्ले होने लगेगा. क्या हो गया? नहीं, हाँ नीचे स्क्रॉल कर दीजिए. हाँ हाँ ठीक है. सो एक सेकेंड. हाँ नीचे स्क्रॉल कर दो. वो नहीं हो रहा ना, कुछ गड़बड़ हो रहा है उसका. हाँ हाँ. Okay, now that was the reporting part of this that we spoke. Like I said in the starting of this story, there was another part of it which you have been learning, the skills, the tools. So this is where the tools come in. We sat down to look for videos from another angle. We did not want to give them any scope of questioning our fact check. Sat down to look and we found a longer video. We found a longer video which showed the man getting hit. Scroll कीजिए नीचे. This is the video, but let's not play the video right now. It's a very disturbing video. नीचे जाइए. Here. See this? His lathi is touching him. Now you have the video, you have his video which showed his leg injury, and at the same spot the lathi is touching him. So tomorrow if anybody says कि oh this did not hit him, it just touched him like it is one feather, It is not true. He has an injury to show it, and you have proof of that injury because you did reporting. You did not just depend on this photo. You did not just use tools. You did basic reporting and found the man. Okay. So do not forget, like I said, don't forget that you are reporters first. And you have an additional skill now. Don't forget your reporting skills. Use them in your fact checking. Okay. I think time hai? Nahi hai? So then I'll focus on the mental health part of this and 2 minutes and then we'll take questions. It's a very popular meme. This will be all of us, but it should be. Mental health. I decided to speak about mental health because of the current times we are living in. As reporters, as journalists, these are very dangerous and risky times for anybody who wants to do anything related to reporting the truth. These are difficult, dangerous times. Remember it. As fact checkers, it's a little more difficult. I mentioned this already to some people who were in the car with me, but as a reporter, like sir said, एक एरिया के बारे में ही आप रिपोर्ट कर रहे हो. सिर्फ आपका वो एजुकेशन बीट है, हेल्थ है, कुछ भी है, वो एक एरिया के बारे में है. As a fact checker, that does not apply. You will be sitting in Hyderabad and there will be fake news about Afghanistan going on, and you will have to report it. You will have to fact check it. If you're working for a fact checking organization, nobody will care that you don't know the capital of Afghanistan also. They don't care. You have to fact check it. Something is happening in Ukraine, you have to fact check it. That means you have to sit down and look at hours for sometimes for hours, sometimes for days, at very visual, very graphic imagery, videos, disturbing videos. What is disturbing for me may not be disturbing for her, may not be disturbing for him. Different varieties, but there are disturbing videos. As a reporter, you may not have to look at it. Even if you're a crime reporter, crime happening across the country, you don't have to look at visuals of that. As a fact checker, you have to. So that is why you need to remember that focusing on yourself, taking that break, saying that today is my off, and maybe I know how reporting works, so you cannot switch off your phone and chill, but just saying that, okay, for 2 hours, I will not do anything. For 2 hours, all I will do is sit and watch who is that actor, Vijay Deverakonda. I will do that. But yeah, but telling yourself that. Syed also spoke about it. Why are we talking about the mental health aspect of this? Because it affects you. It affects you. You do not realize it. Start thinking about it. Start taking that break. Even when you are learning about these fact checks, you might decide that, hey, there's a viral video. Let me try and fact check this. If it is a disturbing video, after you are done, stop it and do something else. Do what you like. Whether it's taking a walk, whether it's reading a book, whether it's just staring at a wall, or just doing Instagram, but do it. Don't be like, hey, this is such a cool job, so I will keep doing it for 24 hours. No. Please don't do that. Don't do it. Take that break. Tell yourself, this is not good for me right now. This video is too disturbing for me and I am not getting anything. Let me ask somebody else for help so that I get that break. Do that. But do it. Okay. Corina, questions? Okay. If anybody has questions, please ask, and if somebody else also wants to talk, I don't mind.
How you came to this profession? So, how you heard about it? We really want to know that.
How I went from being a reporter to a fact checker. they were not getting anybody to cover Karnataka elections, fact check Karnataka elections. I was the only one. I'm very serious. I was a that and sorry. So I was hired because I was a reporter. One of the things that we look for while hiring a new person is whether they are a reporter. We believe that reporters have the prerequisite skills. Reporters are not scared of picking up the phone and calling somebody. Reporters are not scared of being, hey, I will go to the spot. I'm not, nobody is answering my call. I will go to the spot. Okay. I was also hired for that reason. Oh, after I was hired, initially all my stories would actually mostly be reporting based. I used to do fact checks based on my reporting because that is the only thing I knew. I did not know tools. I did not know what a reverse image search is. I did not know InVid, nothing. After a few months, when the training happened, is when I started learning. But the initial 2 months, all I did was pick up the phone, call people, try to go or keep trying, asking people to send me like what I would have done if I had known tools, which is look for the other in other sources online. I was doing the ulta. I was picking up, calling the locals and being like, do you have another video of this? Do you know what happened? Do you know who this person is? So for 2 months, that's all I did. After I was trained, I became slightly better and I started using tools. But that is the honest journey of me being a fact checker for the last 4 years. I started out, I did not know any tools. I did not know anything about all the tools you are learning. I learned 2-3 months after I started working with Boom Life. Yeah.
The main thing is your story is more than 3 days, right? Sometimes you don't have time to cover the story. Editor, why you are wasting your time to think about other stories? Because main journalists don't have time.
That's a very good question. There are, I know your editor will, and we also were under immense pressure to do this story, especially when a lot of other fact checkers published it without finding that man. We contemplated writing it with all the visual stuff we had, with all the other tools we had, because that was done. That was done within 24 hours, which is when everybody else had published the story. We took the extra 2 days.
Sometimes you will take 1 day only. Sometimes you will take more.
It is there is no way to tackle that. It's just your editor needs to either have enough faith in you to say that, okay, if I give her that extra day, she might be able to find it, or you need to be able to say, okay, let's publish this with what we have. We can update our story after 24 hours if we get anything. Okay, suppose see this one, we waited that extra day, but we found something which nobody had, so we did not regret it. But obviously there might be times where you might take that extra day, you may not find anything, then you'll get scolded also, you'll regret not waiting also, everything. So you need to be able to decide on that. You need to be able to decide the day previous only that should we wait, should we not. It's a very tricky situation. There is no right or wrong. That it's a daily battle for us as editors and as fact checkers. It's a daily battle. As like a fact checking reporter also, it's a daily battle whether I should tell my editors that no, go ahead and publish it, and I'm not going to get anything. Okay, but that's I think it's just a reporting call that one takes. There is no right or wrong answer to that. Anybody else?
Maybe look for the updates on disinformation and misinformation reporting. Like any platform, how you are part of it.
No, updates as in to better your skills, or
No, no, to write your fact-checking stories. Claims.
oh, where do you get the claims? Okay, I thought that was done. Okay, uh
No, that was done. We just wanted to understand your.
no, so Twitter, and we have Boom has its helpline where people send us tips, yeah. But otherwise, every day we sit down and scan Twitter. We there are your usual suspect accounts which keep sharing fake news. Keep every day go and check them once. Keep notifications on for them. Okay, secondly, run a hashtag search for the news that is trending that day. So if there is Udaipur incident that has happened, go through all the tweets in under the Udaipur hashtag. Look what are the other hashtags doing the rounds around a certain incident. Around, so suppose your Agnipath protests. Okay, so Agnipath protests, there were some 3-4 hashtags which were viral with the Agnipath protest, right? So go through all the hashtags. Go first go through the tweets and then go through the images tab in Twitter to go through the to see what are the images being tweeted with that event. Same with videos. Go through the videos with that hashtag. It's a game of constantly checking. Constantly checking does not mean you leave everything else and just keep refreshing Twitter. Then your editor will definitely fire you. But just keep checking every 2 hours. Check every 2 hours. Check your Twitter trends every 2 hours. Okay. Run a search on Facebook with the same keywords. Run a search in the local language. So if something has happened in Hyderabad, me running a search in English on Facebook I won't say it's useless, but sometimes it can be useless. So I will run a search in Telugu. If some event has happened in Hyderabad, I will run a Facebook search in Telugu because people tend to share fake news in the language they speak in. So if something has happened in Karnataka, I will run a search on Facebook in Kannada. So do that. Don't just depend on English. It's obviously very easy to run a search in English. Run it in the local language. So on Facebook there is something called, you can filter out dates. You can do fake news shared this week, this month, this year. Do that so that you get the most recent posts. You can even in Facebook, in fact, for videos, I think there is a filter which says shared today. Run that search every morning when you are starting work. Maybe run that search. So that is how you will get your claims. If a big global event has happened, there is definitely going to be fake news around it. If a big event has happened in India, there is definitely going to be fake news around it. Those are given things. So half your job is already done there. All you need to do is run searches. Yeah. Anybody else?
I would think claim was found right.
When a claim is found right, when a claim is found to be true. So at least I can speak about what we do at Boom. If it is a very important story, especially if it involves a communal claim, a communal incident, we tend to do a straight story. जो हम रिपोर्टिंग में भी करते हैं, स्ट्रेट स्टोरी, मतलब ये हुआ इंसिडेंट, ऐसा हुआ, ये अक्यूज्ड है, ये विक्टिम है, व्हाटएवर. हम उसको फैक्ट चेक बोल के वी विल नेवर राइट इट. वी विल राइट इट एज अ स्ट्रेट स्टोरी. If it is not a big incident, if it is not a big event which everybody in the country is talking about, we leave it. We will reply. So if you have shared the claim with me and asked me if it is true, I will send you a news story, not necessary to be from Boom, from any other, and say, hey, hi, this is true. We'll do that. If it is true, these are your two options depending on what the news is. Yeah. That is what at least we do at Boom. That is our go-to policy at Boom. Somebody else was asking me something.
What are the chances of fact checker surviving for a long time as a full-time fact checker? Because given that we have some school coming up in Paris to teach doctors, and now we have a program for Telugu journalists. So we basically, the role of a fact checker, solo fact checker that we're trying to establish is itself getting diluted. So
I don't understand the doctors in Paris one. Sorry, I don't know the context to it. I wasn't paying attention.
Apparently there's a school coming up in Paris to train doctors about fact checking.
Okay, and you are saying, and what point you made?
The second point being, we are looking out to make a position for fact checkers in newsroom. At the same time, we are also training journalists. So are we not diluting what we're trying to make?
Okay. Currently, we have some news outlets which have their own news wings, and they also have their fact checking wings. We sometimes fact check them. Even though they have an in-house news wing. Even though they have an in-house fact checking wing, there are numerous instances where the news organization, the same news organization, has shared fake news. Okay. Secondly, that was just an example. I do not think, it is my opinion at least, that I do not think fact checking as a profession is getting diluted. Fact checking was born out of a very dire need, because your sources of information, sources which were supposed to give out honest, true, factful information, forget honest and true, factful information, were not doing so, were failing to do so. It was also born because these sources of information were giving out false and untrue information, not just not doing factful reporting. They were actually spreading misinformation. There were news outlets. Fact checking was born out of those two needs, and fact checking has since evolved. Fact checking is no longer just verifying like just speaking to three people, just having three sources. Fact checking is no longer that. Fact checking is no longer just establishing whether this incident happened, like just the basic. No, fact checking has evolved to an extent where people are building tools for fact checkers. One, fact checking has become a separate entity from your news outlets, because the job of a fact checker has evolved from just being a reporter. It has grown from being a reporter, what reporters were supposed to be doing as basic steps, that has become a bigger thing now, and our role has changed. So fact checkers, I don't think, are getting diluted. I think there's going to be a more need, especially for a country like India, especially for your Southeast Asian countries. There is going to be a more need for fact checkers. And training journalists as fact checkers, yes, one is for that more that is that there are more fact checkers born, but the second is also to make journalists aware of ways they themselves can end up spreading fake news, to make the journalists aware how their newsrooms can spread misinformation, but you because they are aware how they can stop them doing so. It is not just so that every journalist in this room will tomorrow become a fact checker. It is not. It is also to it is knowledge sharing. It is learning. It is learning not just for jobs, but learning for the sake of learning and helping maybe your newsroom. So I do not think it is diluting. Even if everybody in this room becomes a fact checker tomorrow, I do not think fact checking as a profession will dilute, or the need for it will not dilute, and as a profession also it won't die down. Yes.
Any hurdles you faced in this 4 years?
Hurdles. Uh, the regular of being a woman. Have I faced hurdles being a woman? Uh, yes, I have. Uh, they are the same hurdles that every female journalist faces. All of us have faced it, from uh, information, police officials not ready to talk to us because we're a woman, or talking to us because we are women. Who told you, sir? Hmm? Huh? Who told you, sir? Are you a woman? Who told you? Are you a woman? How do you know is what I'm asking you.
Did you fact check that?
Huh?
My experience,
You're not women, right?
because they're clever, they're intelligent.
You actually fact check why you are your experience. No, you have to fact check that before making the statement. You have to give us fact checking resources, sources.
Knowing information, known people, we can spoke very well. But unknown person, why should we take risk to talk to them?
But Alina, I think you should tell your experiences.
Aren't you the same person who I think the person who's from the US consulate? The person who's from the US consulate, I heard that them telling you that if a person does not answer your call, you're supposed to drop them a message saying, "Hey, I am this," right? They told you, somebody in the room they were telling it to. Yeah. You asked if it is a known person, I can pick up the phone and call them. If it is an unknown person, I can't. You are a reporter. No, you have to. There is no other answer to this. Or I'll let Sudhakar sir answer this.
What you said is right. Whoever that to find the unknown is the report.
Yeah.
So you have to follow.
It's a risk. I will not deny it's not a risk. You're sharing your number.
Example, for bureaucrats, it's not an issue. If I meet any politicians like ministers, he's very free to talk when reporter. Sometimes it happens.
Yeah, I'm not denying it.
Uncomfortable. He feel shy or we feel shy, I don't know, but we didn't get proper information.
Hmm. Yeah. No.
They will hesitate to tell the information.
No, you find if you think that you are uncomfortable getting information from this person, or that person is uncomfortable giving you information because of your gender, because of your hair, because of anything, whatever be the reason, you find an alternate. That is what I do, at least. You find an alternate. Find an alternate. See, the source of just any information, the source of an information is never one person, especially when it comes to government things. It is not just the minister who knows it. Before the minister knows it, his peon knows it. Before the peon knows it, the other department's peon knows it. It is never just the minister. It is never just the bureaucrat. It is never just the DCP or the senior police official. It is always the juniors who know it. So if you think that the DCP, you're uncomfortable talking to the police official or the politician, go to the junior people. Find a clerk, find a female clerk. Find an alternative. You need information. That is your goal. How you find that information is not the editor's problem or the information, the minister's problem.
More of a barrier in the mind. So I call upon Mama to break the curtain from henceforth. Instead of whoever be, whether politician or whether he is shy, it's his problem. But you should not be shy. You should be asking questions. You should be extracting information.
I know, sir, but sometimes the regional channels. Yeah.
Sorry,
She was asking you.
I missed that question. Sorry.
As a woman,
My hurdles as a woman, like I said, it is the same as a lot of female reporters have faced. Like one of the things being what she mentioned, people not ready to talk to you, and sometimes talking to you only because you're a woman, because of either what I'm wearing or what he thinks I'm not wearing. Okay. So the other hurdles have been not being able to enter certain religious places, when especially given the communal incidents that are happening in the country right now. During ground reporting, if I have to fact check something, my because I'm a woman, unable to enter certain places is a hurdle, but that can be worked around. That is not a problem. The others are honestly the same as every woman in a lot of professions and in journalism has been facing. There is nothing different about it. Uh, it's grave sometimes. It is something that can be dealt with sometimes. Sometimes it is ignoring, and sometimes since now I'm 10 reporter for more than 10 years now, I sometimes give it back. I don't advise it always, but I give it back sometimes. I was warned about this. I was warned about this.
When there is a dilemma between partly false,
Yes.
partly true,
Yes.
it's very difficult.
True.
Because, for instance, if you sometimes we feel that "Arey, I said it's partly true, but you may, because even digging so deep, you get multiple. So how do you actually overcome that problem? Partly false and partly true situation.
So one, we so partly false, more or less. Sometimes partly false, partly true goes, and it's the same thing. It's just I like to call it partly true. The true part is percentage is more, and the false part is less, and vice versa. Okay. When writing the story, that time we actually choose it based on the virality and the relevance of it. That is when we will actually sit down and do it. If we think that okay, this is partly false at this stage, as in depending on what is being shared with the claim, especially with the claim or the information, if we think that okay, we can wait 2 more days and not do this right now and see if a stronger claim comes, we will wait. Otherwise, if it is already at that 2 days we later wala stage, we'll do it and we will say partly first. We generally add this disclaimer, especially if we are not able to track the exact location or the incident that was happening. Especially in those cases is where partly false, partly true does play a role. We will add a disclaimer saying that this is what we found, but boom could not independently verify the date of this event. We will we will add that disclaimer. Wherever there are other fact checkers who add that times view types wala, that line which says but at boom we avoid doing that. We will add a whatever we know so far. Whatever, instead of saying this is what we this is what is true for now, we write it in a way that this is what we found so far, And this is what we haven't found so far. So you put both out. You put both out in your story itself. Instead of the reader later coming and like questioning and or saying, say that this part is true, but this is all this we found this to be false, but we do mention the true part. We don't skip out on the true part. We will say that this part is true. That is one thing that we follow.
One is putting up a disclaimer, waiting for 2 days, more percentage of false, it's partly
False.
more percentage.
Yes, and mentioning the true parts also. If it's partly false, whatever is the true part, mentioning that in the story. Anybody else? Yes.
Why don't most of the fact checking headlines, story headlines, they don't give the conclusion headings because it needs to reach to more audience.
No, we do. How do you mean? A lot of fact checkers do.
Literally, most of the headings will be like, is it true, is it false?
No,
To give the conclusion only in
at least with. It's okay, it's okay. Yeah, I'm fine. I get that is very routine. No, I'll just deal with this question and then I'll. So, yeah, I search for biryani photos. So the headlines that you see, all the headlines that you see. So unrelated photos shared as Arvind Kejriwal eating at Bhagwan Mans. That we have a headline. What is that? Fixed character for 71. That's why it's gone ahead. But most so here. We tend to I know it is born out of stories that a lot of other fact checkers do, especially in the regional languages that are the fact checks that are put out, where they do not put off all the claim. We do not advise that at all. Our view is that if we wanted to be there, then there's no difference between a person sharing fake news if both have clickbaity headlines. Then, so if that is a clickbait headline and your fact check also has a clickbait headline, it does not work. You'd rather lose out on 50 readers and just have 50 readers because you are using a boring old Tata type headline, but you want that. That is our view, at least. Very rarely, only if we are doing ground reports or feature stories, we will have like a quote in the story as the headline or a question mark. Even a question mark is, you will find, I think, over the last 4 years, I've had just 2 boom stories see a question mark. Yeah. A question mark was when our whole fake news was based on that question mark. The claim had that question mark, so we had used it. Otherwise, this is what we always follow. Yeah. Anybody else? None? None, right?
Thank you, ma'am, for such an intriguing session and for reminding us how basic reporting skill is the most powerful tool we possess. It was indeed very helpful and informative. We can now quickly break off for a tea break. I request everyone to come back as quickly as possible because we're running late. Yeah. A lot of them are sleeping, so they need.
Quickly go and come back in 5 minutes.
छोटा बच्चा है, 20 होता